Hi there, and welcome into this video where I will be speaking to the astrology, the energies, the solar activity for this moment in time that we are in and that we are more deeply entering into this November. And so much of these energies as well that I'm speaking to will be resonating, a gong that's carrying us through these next several months through the end of 2024, as well as into 2025. We are in a very big, pivotal moment. And my hope and my intention with this video is to give you some grounding for what is happening in our world, maybe in your life, and why. How can you meet these intense, changing times and move with that energy with as much ease and grace as possible? It may not be comfortable. In fact, I doubt it will be comfortable. And yet, to meet that, to surf those waves, this energy, this intensity, this polarization that we are seeing in our world right now, and to create, even from that space, with everything that's happening, how to put down and into motion the foundation for all that is new that is coming in, to be built on all this rubble, this so much of the old that is needed to be destroyed, to build on top of that, to bring in this new, amazing, brilliant future that is possible. If we hold on to our hope, if we each become the light that we already are, and to hold that light, each of us being this candle, lighting in the darkness and showing the way for others to do the same for themselves. That is my intention with this video. And if you are new here, my name is Chrissy Whistler. I am an evolutionary astrologer, so I am looking at these bigger, deeper cycles of our soul's journey and growth, as well as the collective journey and growth. Again, this is where that deep why is all this happening, that I will be touching on and bringing into in this video. I'm also bringing in the energy of the dwarf planets, these new planets expanding our consciousness that I've been studying with Alan Clay for this past year. So in addition to being an astrologer, I am also an intuitive. And I've decided to, this video, I'm going to focus more deeply on the astrology, on the solar activity. And I'm going to do a separate video where I'm bringing in the themes that I've been intuitively channeling and picking up on in my personal life, and the resonance from the people around me and their reflections, what they're bringing in. So bringing in the intuitive themes, which of course are perfectly mirroring the astrology. And I'm also a parent and a healer. And if you are needing any support right now, if you are really getting tossed around by this moment in time, the depth of the healing that may be coming up and surfacing for you, and you feel very lost and alone, do please reach out. You can find out more information at my website, chrissywhistler.com, whether it's for an astrology birth chart reading, an intuitive reading, or deeper healing that I offer at this quantum level for those really sticky areas, to speak to those parts in your system, the wounds, the traumas that may be blocking you from taking a step forward. So if you do need that support, please reach out. It is there for you. And please like this video if you find this helpful. Subscribe to this channel and share this with your friends if it resonates for you. There is a lot of chaos and intensity in the world right now, and every little bit that we can support each other, again, holding and sharing that light, and I hope that's what this video will be, the more we will be shaping that future, that earth that we are wanting to create from that space of hope and peace rather than fear. So I do appreciate you in helping me to reach other like-minded individuals and break through, the algorithm of fear that's really gripping so much of us right now. And speaking of fear, I recently uploaded a video about how to navigate these intense global times. So if that's where you're at and you're really stuck in that fear place, I highly recommend you going and checking that out. All right, so there's a lot here. There is a lot that's happening. So please understand that I am only, skimming the surface of all the astrology in place, all of the energies. What I'm trying to do is weave. I'm weaving with the astrology. I'm bringing in a little bit of the galactic Mayan calendar that I have been slowly picking up on these past couple years. There's a beautiful, again, weaving the synchronicity that's taking place with these energies. I've also been studying the space weather and solar activity, so I'll be bringing that in as well. But if you want a true master on that, please see Stephen Burns on YouTube. He just does an amazing job with that, being a space weatherman and breaking it down in a way that you can understand. So I'm synthesizing a whole bunch of that. I'm paying attention to other intuitives and light workers who I've been following for a while. I've recently just met Sharon McLaren in person, which is a beautiful joy. And she brought through the Great Council of Grandmothers and the Net of Light. So there's even this energy of them as well. So please know that there's this great, synergy that's happening. It's not just coming from me. I am just doing my very best to be a storyteller for you of those energies, and then how this can mirror and come in our lives on that collective level, but also, and I think more importantly, on that personal individual level. Because the more that we do our own healing work, the more we see and witness ourselves, the more that trickles into the collective, to our ancestry, our lineages, through timelines and dimensions. This is this fractal nature of the world that we're working with. So most of my focus is going to be on the individual personal level. But this video, because this coming week of November 1st, and truly all of November, is going to be very big, very loud, very intense, full of fear. I wanted to speak to that, to help, again, to be someone holding that light and that hope for you when you're in those moments and you're, like you're getting that gut punch. And what are you going to do How can we possibly move forward from here? So I will be speaking to some of what's coming with the US elections and this bigger, broader theme of transformation and change that our world is going through, and that we will also be seeing on this microscopic level in our lives, because we are a fractal. What is happening in our lives is also a mirror of much, much more. So, please know that you are not alone. If you're really, really going through it and you're in that space of fear, it's okay. This is so much part of this time that we are in. We are there now. We are in that crucible of change. That's so much of what the astrology is speaking to. It's not this thing that's happening someday. No, it's right now. It is now. And this last week of October, leading into November 1st, as well as the following week, which again, November 5th, is the elections in the United States. And I'll just bring in a little bit as well. November 15th, we'll have Saturn stationing direct. And on November 19th or 20th, depending on where you live in the world, Pluto will be leaving Capricorn for the last time in our lifetimes. Will not be returning to Capricorn again for another about 240 years. This is big energy, big change, a breaking down of old, outdated systems, structures, a power, authority over the distortion of that patriarch energy. This is also about our conditioning, the beliefs, the guilt, the shame that we were conditioned to believe in and to hold. From the moment we came through, picking up in this morphogenetic resonance of our collective humanity, these things have been attached to us, cloaks holding on to us. Then we're born into these cultures and traditions that have their own lens, perception, frame of seeing things. And so there is this very deep, important shedding of those, a dismantling, breaking down, even a demolition. I'm being reminded of the image that here we are at this Pluto 29 degrees of Capricorn. It's like a grenade in a steel box. The steel box is Capricorn. It is society. It is our traditions, our culture, how we are conditioned to believe, to think, to act. And Pluto moving into Aquarius. That is when the grenade detonates. You think that steel box will hold on forever. That it will not let go, it will not change. There will be the same repeat story, pattern happening again and again. And yet, in the end, the grenade wins. This may not happen right away and overnight, so don't think that. But again, I'm speaking about larger change, larger themes and cycles that we are in, that our souls are partaking in the moment we said yes to coming and being born into this time. And please know, you came in here in this time for a reason. So this is some of the backdrop of what we're working with. Now, let me also start to bring in as well the sun. Of course, with space weather, it's very unpredictable. We never know what the sun is going to do until the sun does what he does. So I have a very strong sense that these next 2 weeks, we will be seeing a lot of solar activity. Right now, our whole planet, the magnetosphere, is supercharged with energy. Again, go see Stefan Burns for more in-depth of this. I don't want to spend too much time, but please know that from the beginning of October, when we got hit with triple solar space weather activities, we had a long duration, of course I always have my notes, G3 geomagnetic storm. Again, long duration, receiving those energies from the sun into our magnetosphere, ionosphere, charging that. We also had a proton S3 radiation storm, which is the highest it can go and the highest it's been in a very long time. So again, that's coming in as well. And then we had on 1010 that G4, G5 minus geomagnetic storm, which allowed the auroras to descend in latitudes as far south as Mexico. So all those energies charging our Earth, changing the shape of our radiation belt, so we have more shapes than usual, and all this is precipitating down into our Earth and reaching deeper and deeper. So this is the energy, this supercharged energy we are still in, and the sun is continuing to bring in more of that energy. So we just had, we'll see what it's going to continue to do, but we had a CME, coronal mass ejection impact last night. On, for me, it was October 27th, and that did bring us into a G1 storm. We are now in more settled conditions, so again, we'll see what happens. And that came from, we did have 2 X-class flares. So let me back up for a moment. So early October, we had a ton of solar activity, and it was really heightened around a particular group of sunspots. And they've gone around the backside of the sun, flaring like crazy. So we knew they didn't go away. They're still there. And sure enough, they moved around the eastern limb of the sun, and boom, it was announced with an X 3.3 flare, an X-class flare. And as I keep saying, these X-class flares, they are like these surgical precision, like impacts into us, breaking away to shed these cloaks, the conditionings of who we thought we are. Again, society put on us, parents, bosses, teachers, all the things, hiding our true selves and our true life. So X-class flares are really going through, cutting away the bullshit of who we are not, so we can find and remember who we truly are. So that sunspot region, we had a 3.3 X-class flare, and then we had another And this was a 1.3 X-class flare, and that's what caused this recent geomagnetic storm, the G1 that I just referenced. So that big group of sunspots, this next, let me put, what did I put down? So 7-ish days, right around Halloween, November 1st, those sunspots are going to be Earth direct, and that means any big flaring it does, any CMEs that it releases are going to be heading right to Earth. And that will again be something our Earth is receiving and charging up. These flares, this energy from the sun, cosmic energies, are changing our consciousness. We are evolving. We are receiving more information. This is helping us to rise. And boy, again, the timing of this, rising. In addition to us being in solar maximum of solar cycle 25, this is a normal thing. It happens every 11 years, okay? We are in solar maximum. And in addition, we are in this larger, grand solar maximum of the sun. The timing of this is just amazing. Truly, truly is. Now, as well, I'll just say, after those, around Halloween time, November 1st, which is coinciding with our new moon in Scorpio, and I'll get to that in just a minute, those sunspots will continue to move around. It'll be another 7 days before it moves on to the backside of the sun. So we're really looking at about 2 weeks of very active solar activity. And as I've been studying this sun and bringing in and paying attention to the astrology, there has been a correlation with aspects to Pluto and very strong solar energies. In particular, aspects between Pluto and Venus and Pluto and Mars. And guess what? We are right now in an active opposition between Pluto and Mars. And that will tighten and will get exact. This is the first of 3 oppositions because Mars is getting ready to go retrograde. More of that in a minute. That opposition will be exact on November 3rd. So right after this new moon in Scorpio and just days before our United States election. As I said, very intense, disruptive changes are coming. And this is not just what we are seeing on the news or playing out on the world stage. These are changes within our consciousness. This raising up of our vibration, the Earth's vibration. So, again, hold on to the hope no matter what you are seeing. The anger that's being projected out right now, the deep hurt that people are reacting from, wounds and traumas, anything so they don't have to see that within themselves. All right, now let me I'll just bring in a few of this before I move into the astrology more. Okay, so we are currently in an S2 radiation storm. So again, more energy coming in to our planet that we are receiving. The Schumann resonance as well are increasing, which is also because of that supercharging that's happening in the radiation belt. More lightning strikes are happening. Okay. All right, now let's start to shift into the astrology. All right, so we have our new moon happening on November 1st or 2nd, depending on where you live in the world. And this will be in Scorpio. And Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Now, remember at the beginning of the video, I was speaking very much of Pluto and Pluto's job at that last analytic degree of Capricorn, this increased pressure. It's a loaded spring. It is that grenade in that steel box, okay? We are being loaded, and we're seeing it all out in the world, in our lives, of how this is not working. Those distortions that are coming in. Pluto is saying, now is the time to go deep into those shadows, to rake up that very bottom of the barrel that you do not want to see. And think about it as well, this whole period that we've been in, these past 5, 6, 8 years might feel like you're going back into the medieval era. Rights being stripped away. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. You have to survive at all cost. Who you are and what you feel does not matter. Like, it's this real, deep going within. And how many of us, before 2016, we thought everything was actually pretty good. That we thought that we had progressed farther than we actually are. And there was all this simmering under that surface that we could not see. There's been this necessary bringing it to the surface. We have to see it. We have to witness it. We have to witness each other. What's making this extra difficult, right, is how painful it is. We have these wounds and these traumas that our system, our parts, don't want us to see. They've been frozen in that trauma. It's easier. It feels safer to project that hurt and that pain onto others. And that's what we're seeing right now. This deep polarization that's happening. That anger, the reaction, it's coming from deep within people right now. And they are unconscious to it. This is the energy and the work of Pluto. Pluto is our unconscious. This is our soul, the iceberg part buried under the water, and it's bringing it up to be seen and witnessed right now. And I'm also speaking as well to the Mars opposition with Pluto. Oh goodness. Mars is in Cancer. That 29 degrees of Cancer. This reaction, this anger coming from deep within wounded inner children. Our hurts, how we have not been safe in the world, how we have not felt safe, and there can be that great reaction, that anger that's happening. So this opposition, Mars, Pluto, is illuminating these truths. This is a very deep, angry period of time, and this new moon in Scorpio will be setting us up for this new moon cycle. So this whole cycle until we have our next new moon in Sagittarius. This is one cycle in particular. But there's also this dance that's happening between Mars and Pluto. And as I said, this is going to be the first hit of these energies. Mars will be going retrograde in December, moving back into Cancer. We are going to be reviewing all this. So there'll be that hit again with that opposition before Mars stations direct, and we'll move forward again and eventually out of Cancer and out of that dance with Pluto to begin a whole new cycle for the next 2 years. So I hope you can see the fractals that we are working with, these many different layers. Now, we're also working with longer time as well. The south nodes of Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter are all in Capricorn. So there has been this, this so much is about the patriarchy. This too much yang energy and not enough of this yin, which is the feminine, which is Cancer. It's that emotion and safe space. So all of us on this earth right now, all of our souls have that resonance. And so we've been repeating these cycles of the past, and our souls are saying collectively, you need to move into Cancer. You need to embrace and bring back the yin. So this is what Mars is also deeply highlighting. There's some more of that involved. Right now we have Ceres, which is going to be very much about that nourishment, nurturing, the mother energy. She is right now conjunct the south node of Saturn and Pluto. And so she's going to be doing that dance with them, this close conjunction through November as well. And I'll touch back on her later, but just know this is big. These are very big, intense energies, and no, they're not going to be easy to navigate because it hurts. And so many of us have bypassed those hurts. And that's why we're seeing what we're seeing in the world right now. This is the time, Mars in Cancer, to go within, to hold that safe emotional space for ourselves and for others. But the right others. Because not everyone can hold us. Not everyone can see us and witness us in our deep pain. Mars is also the ruler of the North Node, which is in Aries. So again, there is this collective push to move into this emotional energy nurturing. And as Mars moves, again, retrogrades, it's going to go into Leo just a little bit, and it's going to go back into Cancer. This is what we need to do. We need to nourish and care for ourselves, to listen to our inner child. The emotional stories that we have been suppressing. Okay, clearing that. I could feel that coming from very, very deep. And that society or parents or those authority figures pushed on us to forget, to push down. Now it's the time to sit with that and to witness it. All right, so let's see. There's so much with these energies. As I said, a very angry, reactionary time. Power dynamics are going to be surfaced and highlighted. Mars-Pluto opposition is not feeling safe. I'll bring even in a little bit of a story as well. So as you know, or maybe you don't know, is, I have 2 children, and they're both highly sensitive. But Eric in particular, he is a sponge for the vibrations, the energies, and the frequencies in this world. And by the way, I will be camping next week, so you're not going to be getting any updates from me. I'm going to be grounding in deep nature. I am going to be out of the city and holding my space, my energy, so I can help hold it for all of you. But I just noticed today, Eric started toning a lot more. And toning, I mean by like humming, making sounds, vibrations. This is how he processes energy. It's not something he can control. It's part of who he is. And I noticed today that it was bothering Sean. And he is much more sensitive to energies than he knows. Much more psychic than he knows. But that's okay. We'll keep his secret. And Sean was acting angry. You know, there's a angry direction towards Eric, because Sean was having a really hard time. That vibration was cutting through into him, and he wasn't able to ground it, as I've been noticing he has been able to do since he started this new job, which is a whole nother journey and story. And I really will be putting my blog up as soon as I have time about that. But anyway, again, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. There's this angry reaction coming out. And of course, as I said, Eric's sponging it all up. And I even briefly glanced at what's happening in the news right now and in the world. And I'm like, that's why Eric's toning. He's picking up all that. So there's this cycle that I've noticed in my own family. So are you noticing that in your life in some way? And if you are, please let me know. All the feedback you share, especially with you and your children, just further helps me to understand them and their energies. So, again, this cosmic newsroom that we are all a part of. Okay, so that can be some of what's happening. Again, angry reactions. Just looking at my notes right here. Let's see, what else do I want to share with you? What I find interesting is that this new moon is taking place on red cosmic Earth in the galactic Mayan on the 1st, on November 2nd, for those of you in the world. That is the beginning of our white magnetic mirror wave spell. And that has so much to do with the mirror of the other. Other people showing us what we don't want to see within ourselves. So wow, what a week that, that mirror wave spell will be happening for 13 days, which is hitting right in the US election. As well as the exact opposition between Mars and Pluto. Mars as well is our desires, our life force, our willpower. We want to go in this direction. This is what is calling to us. And then Pluto, in Capricorn, again, is that society. It's governments, it's systems, it's structures, it's parents, all right? So there's a lot happening. And can we see ourselves, those shadows, that iceberg under the water, our unconscious that we don't want to see? So if you see things taking out on that world stage, you're having a reaction, can you look within yourself and ask, where is that in me? Where am I judgmental or angry towards others, or not as open and receiving of other people and their differences? Can I see them where they are coming from? Not as an agree with what they're doing, but a space of understanding and compassion. Can you go deep and see a deeper truth? Now, let me just read very, very briefly for you about this cosmic energy. This is from Space Station Plaza. I gotta look closer. I have my glasses on. And it's an excerpt from the Mayan Oracle, Return Path to the Stars by Ariel Spilsbury and Michael Breiner. So I just wanted to quote them. Okay, so I just realized I'm on the wrong one. I'm on the wrong day. I'm looking at November 5th. Let me go back to November 1st. Oh, goodness. All right. I wanted to bring this through about the cosmic because it's a very beautiful, powerful energy again, and I feel there's this, it's carrying us forward. So this is the cosmic wild card, the unseen forces, unexpected change, this touch of destiny, and an interdimensional shift. 13 is the ray of universal movement, the foundation of self within the foundation of essence, combined with the rhythm of Trinity. Cosmic tone 13 touches you with the hand of unseen forces and radical change. It will catalyze into movement whatever resists change, or is unexamined or stationary. You are being touched by fate, moved through identifications of self into open consciousness. There's more, but I hope you can feel that. That is the energy of this Scorpio new moon ruled by Pluto. The last degree of Capricorn, just before this big election that will have reverberation through our world. This is also around that same time, as I said, that this big sunspot will be Earth direct. So feel how deeply we are being held right now at this time. You may not see it in the news, you won't see it in the news, let's be honest, or in the media, but feel it in your body, feel it connecting down into the earth. You are being held by a cosmic web, and this great net of light is holding us through these times of change that we are in. There's no dress rehearsals anymore. We are here and we are in it. All right, so, oh goodness, I think this video is going to be longer than I intended, but please forgive me. There really is so much that I want to share with you. So as well with this Scorpio new moon, very much is a new beginning, but it is a necessary going into the underworld in order to have that rebirth, that change and transformation. If we want to see the world change, we must go within. We must see these deep wounds, these traumas that have been swept under the rug. Okay, let me start to bring in some of the other energies. In the astrology, we have the sun and the moon are conjunct. This new cycle is starting. They are in conjunct with the dwarf planet Celestia, who's in Aries, which, again, by the way, is ruled by Mars in Cancer. So, Mars energy that I spoke of is highlighting this one with Celestia as well. So this is a fated aspect. Now, at the unconscious level, we can feel that we are not in control of our life or able to change a situation. How many of you are feeling that right now? Okay. We can also be really desensitized by experience, where we cannot feel pleasure. Or maybe there's a distortion of the facts and visions. and an attempt through that distortion to shield ourselves to keep us safe. That is somehow the lower conscious octaves of Celestia can be playing out right now. This whole cycle that's beginning, okay? That's the unconscious. But these are those cloaks that we've been holding on to keep ourselves safe. And again, that sun, those X-class flares, surgical precision to cut through the bullshit. This is the time to let go of those cloaks. Now, I'll just back up for a moment to say there can be wounds and traumas. This is part of that spelunking journey of Scorpio. What are those wounds and traumas? Especially with our inner children, the child, those parts in ourselves, Mars and Cancer, that have been wounded. There may be a very deep need to do healing around that before you can let them go. What do you need to see and to witness in yourself? So just know that there is, I feel, a deep healing journey dance with this. And that's where that inconjunct is. It's fated. You can't just wish this thing to happen and it happens. It's this, when something happens and you react from that deep place within you in a strong way, that usually is a signal it's coming from our unconscious. It's wanting to be seen. You may not be able to just go in and be like, okay, great, it's done, no problem. You might really, really need to sit with that energy, Mars in Cancer, and give it that safe space to be seen, or even bringing in someone else to help hold that space for you. All right, so Celestia, once we can really start to shed these cloaks at the higher level, she's helping to bring in intimate relationships. She, at that spiritual level, is bringing love into our lives. Celestia is this higher love consciousness, and to embrace that. She's also helping us right now to really weather the storms of life, the real ones and the psychic ones that are taking place. Helping us to handle these deeply difficult situations and matters, to move with them with more ease, with more flow, and this embracing of lightness, even when something is difficult. She is helping us to take that leap of faith that is required in this transformation, because our heart knows the way and our heart is guiding us. If we are willing to listen, if we are able to see our heart, the heart that might be buried underneath all of those cloaks, and knowing when to take that leap of faith. Celestia is guiding us with this divine timing to be patient, to know, to feel when that time is right to embrace that change. How beautiful and supportive is that for us in this new moon? All right, so the new moon is also in a trine to Saturn, who's retrograde. This is really helping us to see the structures, the systems, the outdated expectations, obligations society has put on us that are not working. Help us to see it so we can start to bring in and to build this new change. So we're going in deep, guys. This October, November, this Scorpio season, we are going deep to see what is there. It's a very so now it's a very revolutionary energy when we have planets that are retrograde. We also have a trine right now to Lucifer in Cancer, Okay, so again, very reactionary energy. That can be some of those lower levels. Project out those inner child hurts onto other people. I know that you're seeing it out there because I sure am. Now, Lucifer at that higher level is embracing this very Promethean way of being, this revolutionary, this going against the grain to be that morning star and to hold the light into new and different ways of being and thinking that are really honoring Cancer, our inner emotions. I told you this is such a big month. All right. Also this new moon, we have a very close square to Varuna, who is in Leo, and Varuna is about sovereignty. And Varuna is the higher octave of Saturn, where Saturn can be very much around restrictions, control. Maybe this trine as well can be, to Saturn, can be some restriction in your life, limitation in some way. The rings of Saturn are holding you back. Saturn's not wanting you to repeat those karmic mistakes of the past. So can you see it? Can you see what those are? It's also very much about, what is that word that wants to come in? Giving yourself self-authority. Where are you the master in your life that you've worked at? Stop giving away that authority to other people. That's also a lot of this theme with Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn right now. Stop giving it away. Claim it for yourself. And that's what the square with Varuna is helping us with. It's these squares are these tensions. The loaded spring pushing us down and down and down until we get to the point where we're like, no, okay, you know what? I see this challenge. I see the gift that's coming through this challenge. I am going to step into and claim my mastery, where I am an authority, where I am a sovereign being, to follow my heart, where the celebration of my inner child is leading me. That is Varuna in Leo. And what is that going to be for you? And again, as well, that theme, there can be some necessary healing that's needed before you can claim that sovereignty, because it's been denied to you in the past in some way. Again, the tension that's part of that square, step up. Do you need to do healing in order to claim who you are, what you are gifted at, and what you can bring to that table? Stop giving away your power to other people, to the authority, to society, okay? Again, Pluto and Capricorn. And Saturn being in this trine is helping us to flow with that new energy, to stop that old way of doing things and to step into this new way to really get it going. Varuna is inner conscious authority, and there is a need to develop that, to own and to accept where we are responsible for our karma and to own it. And as we do that, owning and claiming, that's how we're stepping into sovereignty. Okay. The new moon is also in a sextile to another dwarf planet, Quawa, which is this ability to bring spirit into matter, to sing and dance, to call spirit into our lives, and then to create from that space. So it's also the seeing opportunities in real time and to act on them. So just again, know there is this real undercurrent of energy that's supporting us despite what you're seeing on the news out there. Now, okay, I know this video is getting long. I apologize. I'm just going to bring in as brief as I can. the opposition as well that's taking place on November 3rd, so the exact same day that we have Mars-Pluto opposition. November 3rd, we have Venus-Jupiter, also exact. Okay, clearing that energy. Venus is in Sagittarius. Jupiter is in Gemini retrograde. Okay, let me just, I've got my chart so I can really ground myself into this. Okay, so Venus is also conjunct in Sagittarius to Pallas Athena. So this is, again, this fiery energy, this deep strength, power, knowing, and then being able to act from that space of knowing. Especially when it comes to people we're in relationship with. This has so much to do with our values and our belief system. That's Sagittarius, okay? I know you're seeing it out there right now, okay? Like, there is one truth. There is one answer. There is one God, right? One way of being, one way of thinking, and that is the only truth. That's lower octave Sagittarius. And so Jupiter in Gemini, this opposition is really helping us to see a bigger truth. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, helping us to see a diversity of truths, that what is my truth might not be true for you and your life experiences. Now, you may not have to agree with that. There's a lot of things out there that's happening that I don't agree with, and yet I can see at that deeper level why that person believes, feels, has the values that they do, especially when it comes to the society and the traditions that they grew up in. So can you see that? And can you hold compassion for other people and their diverse opinions? You don't have to agree with it. You might be vehemently against it. And yet, can you still be in a space of compassion for them, for their lives, the hurt that they are reacting from, that they are projecting out onto others because they don't know what else to do, because there has been this deep repression of the feminine, of the yin, our emotions, to just be able to let it all out and cry, to feel. This is so much of what's being healed right now. Now, I also want to look with Venus. Venus is ruling our South Node in Libra. All right, so there is this potential to see in such clear ways how ourselves, our beliefs have been distorted from the past. Our past experience, where who we are got lost into the other person. So there is this helping to come through and to reclaim that part of ourselves, to step into this deeper and bigger authority. Venus, Jupiter are also in a square with Orcus and Saturn. So this is really about seeing the oaths that we have made. Were they the wrong ones? Do they need to be reviewed? Are we willing to make are we willing to do what is underhanded to get ahead? And then take the consequences of that. And there will be consequences. That is the energy of Orcus at the highest level. Orcus sees, Orcus knows. You may think you're getting away with stuff, but you're not, okay? But there is this real illumination of that, especially with Saturn. Oh my goodness, Saturn-Orcus opposition. Whew. So, you know, like there is this illumination of that that's taking place. But Orcus is also about helping us to transmute the shadow, maybe the shadow of our choices, where we have lied and deceived. Take that, or just the difficulties of our lives of this moment in time, to take that and to transmute it into the light that will help us to move forward, to again be that light in the darkness, to move across that desert, this deep self-resilience that we have. So there's so much to say, but I don't want to get super lost in that, but just know that this is something that we're really having to work towards. Each of us, and at the bigger collective level and cycle that we are in, we are having to go through this in order to bring in the new that is coming forward. Okay, let me just see. This opposition between Venus and Jupiter will still be in effect on November 5th, which is the United States election. And I also just want to quickly bring through, on that day, Jupiter will be in conjunct to Ceres. Now, the reason I'm bringing this forward is there is this opportunity that is helping us to see this, again, this repression, this distortion of all these things, Capricorn. Society, systems, structures, okay, how our world works, Capricorn, all of it. Ceres, I'm bringing that one in particular is because she was there at the the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in January 2020, that it was the kickoff for the pandemic. Ceres was in there too. She has a 4.5-year cycle, and here she is. She is at 19 degrees, so she's just approaching that 22 degrees. So that return, that Ceres return. So, and Ceres, as I mentioned earlier, is right now conjunct the south node of Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn. So there can be a lot of information coming through, being able to see what happened with that whole experience, with the lockdowns, the choices governments made from a new perspective. And Ceres is this invitation coming through of, it's time to nurture ourselves. It's time to do these things in Capricorn differently. This is a time to return back to the yin. Okay, so I'm going to bring in one more piece of this. It's where I was earlier on the Galactic Mayan. Let me just go back there. So on November 5th, we will be on a red self-existing dragon. Dragon really has so much to do with the dreaming and the dream space. It is this primordial force. And the self-existing energy, this tone 4. And again, I'm reading this excerpt for you, and I'll put a link to that below so you have that as well. This is about an alignment with natural forces on this day, okay? It's that square. It's a solid foundation. Now is the time to manifest your dream and vision. Look to natural logic, order, and definition. These gifts support the whisperings of your created spirit. You are the architect who manifests your dreams. Open the door and call forth the sacred four. You are being brought into meaningful alignment, bringing healing into this cycle of your life. The four directions offers you assistance in understanding universal physical laws. Use measure as a tool of consciousness to mold time, form, and space. Now is the time to focus, to connect tangibility with the undefined. Goodness, what do I even say about that? This energy is not about man-made laws. We are talking about universal laws. So just know, we are entering on this day in particular, there is this dream space. And there is this new structure being offered for the dream. We may not see it on November 5th, right? I don't believe anyone knows what's going to happen with this election. I would say it will be unpredictable, and that there are going to be many shocks and changes through this, just looking at the astrology. But I also look at it with these other lenses, bringing forward from intuitives, the grandmothers, the nut of light, also as well with the dwarf planets. I feel a lot of hope, which is why I'm really bringing forward this video for you right now, so that you have hope no matter what is happening. And you see out there, Pluto going into Aquarius, this is the future. The old Capricorn way of the past, it's not coming back. It may get louder and it may really, really look like it, but it's not. Do not get caught up into that fear. So, as I said, none of this is going to be taking place overnight. We're working in longer time energies, but I do hope that this is helpful and supportive for you. I really apologize for how long this video is. I took out the intuitive themes I was picking up. This is just the astrology, and it's a lot, and I still have just scratched the surface of it. So what I will do is I will film a second video and get it out to you as soon as possible, with those specific themes that I was feeling, as well as ways that you can work with them to meet those energies in your personal life. And if you need more help and support and you want to know why things are happening in your life, please reach out. I really appreciate you for being here and for being one of the many who are holding the light for this future that is being created right now. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know how you're doing, how you're moving through these times, and know that you're not alone. I will see you guys soon. Please take care. Please ground yourself. Turn off the news. Be in nature. Connect to your heart and hold that vibration, that hope, that dream, right? Primordial dream that you are bringing through, because that is what's needed now more than ever. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.